Big question now. How long can the consumer keep spending? It might be the most important question hanging over the economy. Our next guest is the top-ranked retail analyst on Wall Street. Joins us now with his take and the names to own and avoid. He is Matthew Boss, and he is with JPMorgan. It's great to have you here.
Great to be back, Scott.
So it's been maybe the biggest story of the entire bull market, the consumer's ability to hang in there. I know AI is a big deal, but if we had a collapse of the consumer, I don't think the stock market would look the way it does. Despite all of that, how long can they hang in?
I'd agree with you, Scott. The thing is, the consumer is really strong. I think we're coming off the best holiday in 5 years. By our measure, consumer spending is up mid-single digits. That's almost double the annual pace pre-pandemic. And what we're seeing, it's across the board, meaning you have $60 trillion of wealth creation at the high end. You have a middle-income consumer that continues to spend because the job picture has been robust. And the low-income consumer, I think, is going to be the recipient of higher tax refunds and stimulus to kick off here into the front half of the year.
So do you scoff at what feels now like a cliche of the K-shaped economy? Is that real?
So we see it a little bit different. I think what you're seeing is robust spending across the board, meaning I think it's more that you're seeing resilience at the lower income. You're seeing a selective consumer at the high income, meaning nobody out there is just frivolously spending, and that's benefiting what I would call value retail. That's why off-pricers are showing results that we haven't seen in years. I think you're seeing dollar and discount stores doing really well. And I think the last piece in there is best-in-class brands, meaning the brands that have spent, the Ralph Lauren's, the Coach brands, the brands that have actually spent on top-of-funnel marketing. So I think you're seeing what I would call a selective consumer and a concentrated consumer. It's not a rising tide. I think that's what has thrown people a little bit off track, is thinking consumer good, we can invest in all in retail. It really hasn't been that case. It's been a lot more selective. Winners versus losers.
If you make the case that the consumer is very strong,
yes,
and even at the low end, resilient, I think is the word that you use, has that forced you to rethink the names that you like? Perhaps thinking that you weren't going to like those names or they weren't going to do well if the consumer, especially towards the bottom, was collapsing in a way more dramatically than they otherwise might be now?
I think more so what we're looking for is cornerstone portfolio, multi-year compounders. And so TJX is a great example of that. Every single twist and turn of the economy, TJX has come out stronger. I think on the other side of this, as we move 26 and into 27, I think you're going to see that bucket expand. Ross Stores is an opportunity, in my opinion, also within that off-price world. Dollar General, Dollar Tree, Five Below, Ollie's. And like I said, I think it's not going to be as much of a swing, big hit, and then see the other side of it, as much as I think it's going to be companies that can gain size and scale, continue to invest and take share. And I think that's where I was pointing before on a Ralph Lauren or on a Tapestry or on some of these other best-in-class brands, Amer Sports, that I think can actually grow, but grow for a multi-year period.
All right, let's finish on Lulu, okay? Which you remain neutral on.
Yeah.
Which is embroiled in this CEO change. You have the founder with the proxy fight and so forth. What happens to this company, and how does it, form your view on what happens in the future with the stock?
Yeah, Scott, so there's a lot of noise out there right now. I think in the end, this all comes down to execution and driving growth again within North America. We have a note out actually this morning on Lulu, and a second note actually walking through some of our field work. They're not off to a great start. They actually are recalling a product line as we speak, given the sheer nature of some of the fabrication. They've had these issues in the past. I think what you really need is, as they've laid it out, 35% newness by spring. But I think what they're really walking through is that this is going to be an evolution. It's not going to be an overnight switch. And there's a lot of competition when you look at Aloe and Viore. There's a lot of competition in that space. And if anything, I think for a multi-year period, Lululemon over-earned coming out of the pandemic when we had the stay-at-home, when we had the comfort, and we had the lounge really as the number one appeal.